Good morning and welcome to the Lovin Daily. Today's show is brought to you by Malak Al Touk as part of Lovin Dubai's Business Bounce Back campaign. Malak Al Touk is famous for delicious Lebanese touk, obviously, sandwiches and delicious burgers and more. And if you want to support them, you can find them on Hessa Street, Motor City, and of course in Business Bay, or you can check out their brand new app. Now, while Malak Al Touk is the sponsor of this show, the opinions and the statements which you're about to hear are all Lovin Dubai's. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Lovin Daily. I'm excited to run through our top stories. We're going to be talking about the fact that there is a lunar eclipse happening outside right now. That will be our first story. Also, the fact that the RTA is urging you to remember to sterilize your car, and we'll talk a little bit about the bits that we're sterilizing and what's needed to happen. And also the big question on everyone's lips, which is whether or not schools will reopen in September. A lot of UAE education heads met yesterday, so we'll talk a bit about that. But the first story, which I think is very cool, is there is a partial lunar eclipse happening over the UAE right now. So the UAE Space Agency said a celestial phenomenon that's expected to look like a ring of fire. It began at 8:14 a.m. It's now 8:31, and it will continue until 11:12 a.m. They also shared the do's and don'ts for watching the eclipse, which is do not look directly at it. So that's key if you're interested right now. And this is kind of one thing that we did, right? Because I mentioned before we went live that there's something happening right outside, and then the three of us went to the window and we're like, but that is exactly what you should not do. You can't look at it. Chai is laughing. So then what Chai did, morning Chai, rather than looking directly at it, then he put on his sunglasses to look directly at it, which is I think what most of us would do, right?
It's polarized, right?
So polarized if you're wearing polarized glasses, but they also said you can't look at it through your eyes, regular glasses, or through cross-polarized filters. Or if you have a telescope that is damaged, you also cannot look at it through that. So definitely check it first. They remind you to use only glasses that are specifically made for solar viewing. So if you're curious and you want to look outside, it's also very cool because they have a live happening right now. So a Facebook Live on the Abu Dhabi's International Astronomical Center. They're broadcasting the live right there. It started a couple of minutes ago, like I said. So if you want to check it out, I remember I think maybe 6 months ago, we were walking to work and the whole sky was dim during the eclipse. It doesn't look like that's happening right now, but it's definitely it's not as bright of a morning. I'm glad I can't see it here. But there is.
It will happen soon.
It will happen. Well, do you think it gets more dim as the time goes on?
It should, right? The moon's going to cover the sun.
But has that already started? Because when Chai looked, he said he could see like a slight ring. So I think, I'm not sure. The last time I remember coming in and there was a man on the street I met in Marina and he had the proper solar glasses to view it and he was outside for that purpose. So I asked him if I could borrow them to have a look and it was very cool. So I think through a telescope is the best way to see it, or get onto that Facebook Live right now or straight after this live to check it out because it'll be very cool. But we'll move on to our next story, and it's the RTA is urging Dubai motorists to sterilize your car to combat COVID-19. So you're washing your hands regularly, but are you washing your car? The RTA said your safety depends on the cleanliness of your vehicle, and you should clean it before and after every single journey. And they also said to concentrate on these 5 major touch points. Touch points is a pun, I quite like it. Oh, Sunday. The touch points are the vehicle's interior and exterior door handles, the steering wheel, the gear stick, of course. Do automatic drivers have gear sticks? I don't drive.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Electronic devices and also the seatbelt. I think this is key, and I also think that that's a reminder from the RTA to continuously to wash the car. And of course, we're always reminded to wash our hands, but it made me consider all of the things that we're touching every day. Are you, for example, Chai, washing your car keys? Are you washing the doorknobs on the way into your house?
I don't drive.
You don't drive. What about the door? So all these things that we're touching every day and we're washing our hands all the time, but are we washing the things that are around us that could also be infected?
I take taxis to work. So and I have a little spray sanitizer.
Yeah.
So I spray the doorknobs before I open and close them.
Interesting. And what about the seatbelt?
I have to think about that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's all these extra things that I take a taxi too when I walk home. And also your phone.
No, but the thing is, as soon as I step out of the taxi, I sanitize my hands. So I think
exactly.
That should be all right.
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's a continuous reminder to wash our hands.
Yeah.
And what about your phone? I'm continuously aware of my phone because I touch light switches on the way in and then I'll wash my hands, but then I'm touching my phone in between, and because that's in our hands constantly.
So tricky because
phone is a tricky one.
I haven't wiped my phone.
I actually did this morning when I was thinking about these stories.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Guys, do you have any solid tips and tricks to how to keep your phone sterilized, how to keep your keys sterilized, how to keep maybe your laptop or your desk space? Well, we have wipes for desk space, of course. But yeah, so we're going back to the original story. It's a reminder from the RTA to all motorists to continuously to wash your car before and after every journey. It's based on your safety. And we'll move on. So the UAE education heads have met to discuss the reopening of schools in September, and they said it will depend on the assessment of evolving COVID-19 changes. So the Minister of Education said yesterday that the possibility of resuming study, including the reopening of public and private universities and schools next September, will be according to precautionary measures and depending on assessment of evolving changes related to COVID-19. So we don't have a decision just yet. They said if schools reopen, there will be a well-studied plan within the precautionary measures taken by the UAE to contain the virus, which place, of course, the health and safety of students, staff, workers as a top priority. I think this is 100% the question on every parent, teacher and student's lips at the moment. Will they be back on campus in September? All age groups will be asking the same question because, of course, whether or not they want to go back. I'm sure teachers want to go back in because obviously it's a quite different situation for them. And I'm sure parents want their kids in because they've had a whole mission the last couple of months. But I wonder if students want to get back. Do you?
I guess so, right? Like they haven't seen their friends. Like, if I was a school kid, I'm like, I can't stay at home anymore.
100%. I actually think maybe they'll go into school with a renewed enthusiasm for learning.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I don't know. I think they'll go in with a renewed enthusiasm to see their friends more. But 100%, I couldn't imagine being a student at any age and just missing that kind of friendship. Even my niece, she's only 3, so she's in London, she was taken out of her KG class, and she's even kind of noticed the fact that she's not seeing her friends at the moment, and that's 3. So even from a very young age, I think that kids really need that friendship.
Especially in these early stages of life.
Yeah. And then going on to university. Do you reckon university students want to go back?
That's a tough call.
I don't know. They love their freedom, I'm sure.
I would want to go back if I was in university.
Someone is saying, it's a comment we're getting in on Instagram is saying, we as parents don't want schools to open. It's not safe until the vaccine is introduced. That's interesting. So just going back to the story, the UAE Minister of Education said schools won't open until there's a well-studied plan. No vaccine was mentioned, of course, because there isn't one at the moment. But it's just interesting to see the roadmap that they will lay out for schools and universities before they open. And of course, they won't open until they're very sure that the safety of the kids, students, teachers, and everyone is ensured. Anyway, guys, those are our top stories for this Sunday morning. I hope you're excited for the week ahead. Have a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.